The sound came first, a low hum that vibrated in the walls and through the fillings in his teeth. Robert woke with a start, his eyes snapping open to the dark, his breath caught mid-dream, as if he'd been suffocating. He listened, ears straining against the stillness of the room. At first, he thought it was the fridge downstairs, that old compressor grinding itself into oblivion again. But then the hum shifted, a pitch too low, too deliberate, almost mechanical but alive, if that made any sense at all. The air felt wrong, heavy. It pressed down on him, dense and electric, like the moments before a thunderstorm breaks open the sky. He swung his legs over the side of the bed, his bare feet hitting the cold wood floor. His heart pounded faster, the pulse an uncomfortable drumbeat in his chest. He didn't know why he was afraid yet, but the primal part of his brain had already decided something was here, and it wasn't friendly. Robert's room was bathed in a pale, silver-blue glow. Faint, but unnatural. He squinted, trying to find the source, but it seemed to leak from nowhere and everywhere at once. The light outlined the edges of his furniture, the peeling wallpaper, the slightly ajar door leading to the hallway. Shadows stretched long and twisted, dancing across the room like mocking fingers. He stood and took a step forward, his knees stiff, his breath fogging in the inexplicable chill. The hum deepened, a vibration now thrumming through his bones. He felt it in his teeth, in his skull. His vision blurred for a moment as the pressure in his ears mounted. He staggered, reaching out for the dresser to steady himself, but his hand missed. No, not missed. The dresser had moved, or maybe the whole room had tilted. His mind scrambled to make sense of it. That's when he saw it. It wasn't like the depictions in bad TV shows or tabloids. It didn't stumble into the room awkwardly or come in a burst of light. It was just there, standing at the foot of his bed, as if it had been there all along. Tall, impossibly thin, with skin the color of ash, and a head too large for its frail-looking body. Its eyes, black as oil and endlessly deep, held him in place, pinned him like an insect under glass. He couldn't look away. He didn't want to. Its gaze wasn't just looking at him. It was pulling at him, stripping him bare of thought and will. The air grew colder, the hum louder. Robert tried to step back, but his legs refused to obey. His body felt alien to him, like a suit he'd forgotten how to wear. The thing tilted its head, an almost curious gesture, though there was nothing human about it. No malice, no emotion. Just an unrelenting study of him, as if he were the specimen and it the scientist. The glow in the room intensified, shifting from blue to white-hot brilliance, and the shadows seemed to ripple in response. Robert wanted to scream, but his throat wouldn't work. He wanted to run, but his feet wouldn't move. He wanted to close his eyes, but they were locked open, forced to witness. The light enveloped him now, drowning out the room, his thoughts, his very sense of self. The hum was deafening, the vibration overwhelming, as if the entire world was being stretched and distorted. And then the sensation of falling. He was weightless, the room gone, gravity irrelevant. His body floated, twisted, folded into shapes that shouldn't be possible but didn't hurt. Above him or below, it was impossible to tell, was the thing. Its eyes remained fixed on him, those infinite black pools that seemed to hold galaxies within their depths. He felt his mind slipping, unraveling like an old threadbare sweater. Memories flashed and faded. His mother's laugh, the scent of rain on asphalt, the taste of cherry cola, all replaced by a suffocating nothingness. Robert reached out, though he didn't know why. Perhaps it was instinct, a final defiance before whatever was left of him disappeared entirely. His fingers grazed the edge of the thing's impossibly smooth skin, cold and unyielding. It blinked, and he felt himself torn apart, not in body, but in everything else. Every thought, every fear, every shred of what made him Robert was siphoned away, leaving behind only an empty shell. When the light returned him, he was back in his room. The hum was gone, and the air was still. The glow had faded, leaving only the soft yellow light of the street lamp bleeding through the curtains. But something was wrong. The dresser was gone. The bed felt too big, the walls too close. His feet didn't touch the floor the way they should. He stumbled to the mirror and stared at his reflection. The eyes looking back weren't his. The voice inside his head, soft and cold, whispered one word: "Welcome."